All right, welcome to the week 7 assignment. We are working in a database. I know that a few of you have asked why it looks so much different than Excel. Remember that Excel creates workbooks with worksheets in it. It's not a true database in the way that it stores items, or certainly not as powerful as Access and some of your other database utilities. So you will need access to Microsoft Access. It is not available on a Apple version of Microsoft, so I am on a PC today. I have already set up some of the tables because the step-by-step instructions in the book are pretty straightforward, but I'll show you some of the differences. The first item, which is our primary key, is set up as an auto number. Essentially, that just means it's going to increment each time a record is inserted. We've put in a last name, first name. Notice at the bottom we have a field size, and that's where you can set how long that field is. It's important in a database to set it up with plenty of length so that you don't run into errors, but not to allocate too much size, because as databases grow, if you allocate too much size to the database, it will really bloat the size of the database, and especially if it's a web database or pretty much any database. Once you start inserting thousands of records, if you haven't designed your database well, the file size for it could tremendously increase and slow down all your queries. Alright, city and state. Notice that city is set to San Francisco by default. State was set to California, or CA, by default with the field size of 2. Zip code and phone number both have input mask on them. You'll notice phone number, when you go down here and you select these little dots here, it will allow you to select an input mask, and that's what I have done. So there's one of your tables. You'll create a table enrollment and table items as well. And actually, let's go to table item and look at it in design view. You'll notice that it's using currency for the price, and the decimal places are set down here. For table enrollment, this one is a little bit trickier in that it's using lookups. And if you go to, I believe it's this one, I do not remember for certain where those lookups are in the instructions, but basically you're going down to lookup wizard, and I don't remember if it's this one or not. Oh, it's already in a relationship, but you'll use that lookup wizard and follow the instructions in the book. Mine already has a sample relationship, so I can't do a lookup now. I know that may be confusing with us not having gone over relationships, but I'll show you that in just a second. But follow the lookup wizard, and that's how you get to it. But follow the instructions in the book for setting that. Alright, now for the item that's been causing a few more questions, and that's creating relationships. Basically what we're doing here is we are, and I'm going to click on the Database Tools tab, and we're going to go to Relationships, and here are my 3 tables. What relationships are telling us is how these tables are related together, and how we can access information. For instance, if we're looking up a table enrollment, it doesn't contain the last name and first name of individuals, but it does connect to that information through a common identifier in the CID. And the same with table item and description and price and so forth. However, if you're trying to follow the instructions and you get to needing to click on this line and set the Enforce, and this is on page 311. When they ask you to set the Enforce referential integrity, the cascading updates, and related records, you're going to find it's not going to work if you still have those tables open. So you'll get an error like this. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over here. I'm going to make sure, oops, I need to escape out of that. I'm going to make sure that I've closed out of these. So we'll just close them. Yes, I'll save it. Again, I'll close this one. And I'll close this one. Alright, so now when you're setting the Enforce referential integrity and cascading updates and unrelated fields, now it'll allow you to do that. Oops. Let me reset this. Alright, Enforce, update, delete, hit OK, and these signs here, this 1 to, and it looks like an infinite sign, that means 1 to many. So there can be one customer with multiple enrollments. Now we're going to set this item over here, and I believe they want us to set Enforce referential integrity and cascading updates. Hit OK, and now that's many to 1. Oops. So that's many to 1, and the connector here, iType, so we can have many enrollments and only one iType that it connects to, so that's going to be an item type, I believe. Alright, so that's how to set up the relationships in Task 5, and I'll do another recording for the very next task.